Welcome back. This is Marc Rudov, branding advisor to CEOs, media commentator, and author of 3 books on branding for CEOs. By the way, I'm writing a 4th book. Not going to tell you what it is, but I know you'll love it. You can find all of my books at markrudov.com/books. Today I want to talk about Joe Biden's brand. Why do I want to do that? Because Devon Archer appeared yesterday in front of the House Oversight Committee for 4 hours behind closed doors to explain why Hunter indeed brought Joe Biden in on at least 20 phone conversations and in-person meetings because of the Biden brand. Biden was good at closing Hunter's deals. Remember when Joe Biden denied knowing anything about Hunter's business? And then he changed his story to saying he's not in business with him? Well, it's all lies. But the House Oversight Committee has a mountain of evidence against Joe Biden right now, and they're talking about impeachment in the House. Well, let's talk about Joe Biden's brand and why the Biden brand was helpful in these deals. Let me give you 2 examples. There's a woman named Yelena Baturina. She is the richest woman in Russia and was once married to the mayor of Moscow, Yuri Lushkov. He's now dead. He died in 2019. But when Russia invaded Ukraine, Biden created this sanctions list of Russian oligarchs. Save one name, Yelena. Why did he leave her off the list? Because she paid Hunter $3.5 million. Money talks. And now I'm going to bring up the famous example, the ones that even MSNBC and CNN watchers don't even know about. Well, this is quite a story. If you watch the conservative channels, you know that Hunter Biden and Devon Archer, a former business associate and now enemy of Hunter, were on the board of Burisma Holdings, the largest oil and gas company in Ukraine, a very corrupt company, just like Ukraine, which is a very corrupt country, kind of like the United States of America. Anyway, there was a prosecutor named Viktor Shokin. Viktor Shokin was looking into the criminal activities of Burisma. And Zlochevsky, the CEO of Burisma, wanted to figure out how to get Shokin off his back. So he put Devon and Hunter on the board, knowing that Hunter could ask his father to step in somehow to use the leverage of his position as the vice president of the United States, considering that Obama assigned Ukraine to Biden. And what he did was, he told Poroshenko, the president of Ukraine, that he had to fire Shokin, or he would not be getting $1 billion in aid from good old Uncle Sam. Poroshenko said, I don't know, I can't do that. And Joe Biden said, you will do it. And in fact, in front of the Council of Foreign Relations, Joe Biden bragged about saying, I'm leaving here in 6 hours. If the prosecutor isn't fired in 6 hours, you're not getting the money. And Joe Biden said, well, son of a bitch, you got fired. Watch this.
On the part of Kyiv in terms of corruption. They made, I'll give you one concrete example. I was, but it just happened to be, that was the assignment I got. I got all the good ones. So I got Ukraine. And I remember going over convincing our team, or others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. Said, "No," I said, "I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion." They said, "You have no authority. You're not the president." The president said, I said, "Call him." I said, "I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion." I said, "You're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here." And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, "I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money." Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
Okay, so for all of you who are Democrats, who believe everything Joe Biden says, you watch CNN and MSNBC and you've never heard of this before, you actually saw Joe Biden admitting what he's done. Now, he used the leverage of the United States, the $1 billion, to force Poroshenko to fire Shokin. That was of great benefit to Zlochevsky, the CEO of Burisma. Do you think that favor was free? No. Zlochevsky had to wire Joe $5 million and Hunter $5 million. That's $10 million for those of you who think that math is racist. That's right. So he uses $1 billion of leverage from our country selling out his position, but at the same time collecting $10 million from the CEO of Burisma, on whose board his son serves, for $83,000 a month until Joe left office, and then that was cut in half. But this is quite an entanglement for a guy who says he didn't know anything about Hunter Biden's business. And you have many Democrats saying, well, Joe, there's no proof that Joe is involved in any of this. There's a lot of proof. They just want you to believe there's none, but there's a lot. So back to, what is Joe's brand? Well, he's proven that he's unscrupulous and unpatriotic. He can be counted on to sell out his country to make a buck. In fact, they're estimating that it's maybe as high as 50 million bucks. That's right. Why do you think Joe Biden has all of these mansions on a government salary? That's why. So getting back to Joe's brand, unscrupulous, unpatriotic, that's really what it is. Now, if you've watched me before and if you've read my books, you will know that I've said ad nauseum that a brand is not a logo, it's not a name, it's not a product, it's not a technology. It's the emotional connection that customers have with a vendor, or voters to a candidate, or in this case, crooks to Joe Biden. Because when Joe's involved, things get done. And that's Joe's brand. Without Joe, Hunter can't do anything. He has no skills, no experience, doesn't speak Ukrainian, doesn't know oil and gas. He doesn't know anything that's going on in China or Kazakhstan or Romania or Russia or any of that. It's all because of Joe. It's very important that you understand this. Normally, I talk about business and normal politics, but because everybody's talking about Joe's brand based on what Devon Archer said yesterday, I felt I had to make this video. I hope you understand it now. If you want to visit me, if you want me to help your company, you can find me at markrudov.com. Until next time.